This video will explore the integration of Remote House Call with the Retail Lead Management System. In this video, we will cover the operation of Remote House Call when initiated from a non-mobile device, such as a desktop or a laptop computer. Remote House Call may also be initiated from mobile devices, such as a smartphone or a tablet. Remote House Call has many uses. It helps keep you, your team, and your customers safe and socially distanced. It enables you to perform preliminary customer service calls, allowing you to evaluate an issue before you're ever on site, so you can offer a solution more quickly and effectively. It also enables preliminary sales calls. Get a look at the rooms and areas of your customers' homes to see their existing decor and do a preliminary site assessment to help guide which products might be best suited for their space and project. There are many more uses for Remote House Call, so let's dive in on how to use it. To use Remote House Call, start from a leads detail page. Within that leads detail page, click on the Remote House Calls tab. Add a remote house call by clicking this button, and you'll be presented with a set of phone numbers that are available based on the contents of the lead itself. If you need to initiate the remote house call with a number that isn't listed, select Enter another phone number and enter the details of that phone number. Then click Save. To begin the call and initiate the text message to your customer, click Start Call Now. You'll be routed to the third-party augmented reality provider's site. You're able to enter a reference number. And if your customer prefers that you email them the call link instead of send a text, you can change this to email and enter their email address here. For purposes of this training, though, we'll keep this with a text message. We'll click Send, and that will send the text to our customer. So on the right side of your screen, you can see the customer's view, and on the left side is the expert view. Customer has received the text message. They'll click on the link to start the call. They will be requested to allow access to their microphone and video. And we're off and running. So we're going to work through the expert panel here and all of the icons of the features that are available to you. So on the right side of the screen, again, is the customer's view, and the left side of the screen is your view as the expert. At the very top of the expert panel, we have the live pointer, which you can see on screen here, allows you to point and direct the customer towards different areas of the space that they are in. To turn off the live pointer, simply click the live pointer button, and it will disable the pointer. The next feature is the mute button. I've actually muted myself just to prevent some feedback during the recording of this video, but to unmute, just click and then click back again. You'll notice the customer has the mute feature as well, and they can flip the camera around into selfie mode if they wish. Now back over to the expert panel. The next icon is the video on-off button. Now this enables you to share or unshare your video feed, which you can see me in the lower portion of both screens. So we'll turn this off, and I disappear from view on both my own and the customer's screen. Below that is the GPS feature. Once I click this, the customer will receive a notice asking them to allow them to share their location. And when they have shared the location, we'll see the latitude and longitude, as well as the address of their current location. Now, we can make this disappear from our screen just by clicking the GPS icon again, but don't worry, that information will be routed back to your lead automatically in Retail Lead Management. Below GPS is the record feature. This is important to remember. Your calls are not being recorded unless you select the record feature. We encourage you to only record the most important components of the call. And when you're done recording, simply click the record button again. You'll notice a local copy of the recording is downloaded, but don't worry, this will also be routed back to your lead automatically. Below the record feature is our notes icon. So we'll click on this, and this is for internal notes. You'll notice on the customer side, they cannot see the notes that I'm recording. We'll record a few, click save, and we can always come back and record more notes later. So we'll add some notes here and click save again. Those notes will be routed back to the lead as well. All right, so back to that expert panel. Below notes is the full screen icon. This is how you can bring the expert view to full screen on your computer if you wish. And below that is the standard definition, high definition toggle if you wish to improve the quality of the video feed you're receiving. Below that is the camera feature. Now this is really important. It's how we snap pictures in this augmented reality. So we'll click on the camera feature and you'll notice the screen freezes for both yourself as well as your customer. This will enable you to annotate the picture. I'll click on my annotation feature here on the right side of this expert panel, where we can use the circle, the pen, and the text feature. And finally, this is our eraser icon to clear any annotations. So let's do a little bit of annotating here. We'll throw a circle in the mix. We'll do some pen, and we'll even enter a little bit of test text. Now you'll notice that the text does not appear on the customer screen, but all the other annotations will. To clear all annotations, you would click on the eraser icon, but for right now, we'll just leave these up. And before we click back into our live feed, we want to remember to save this picture. This will save the picture with all annotations in place, and you can confirm the save by clicking in the upper right-hand corner, and you can preview the picture that was saved. All right, to go back to our live feed, go ahead and click on that camera icon again, and we're back and rolling. At the top right of the expert panel, you'll see the option to zoom. I am calling an iPhone right now, and so this is not a compatible feature. We'll see that little notice in the upper right of our screen, but if you were calling an Android device, you would be able to zoom their camera in and out as needed. The other icon towards the bottom of the right-hand side of the expert panel is the flashlight. This is a similar feature, enabling you to turn the flashlight on for Android users. All right, next up is our chat feature. Now it's important to note that if I was calling a customer through the remote house call, I would be able to speak back and forth with them just as you could on a phone call or a FaceTime. And the chat feature is another way to communicate. So while we can speak back and forth, we can also chat. So I'll send a quick chat message. Customer will be notified a new message has been received and can reply to that as well. And there's our chat back and forth. So if ever you needed to share a link to something or some detailed information and instructions, this is a great way to do that so that they can maybe even take a screenshot of it for future use. Once we're done with the chat, go ahead and click X. Don't worry, the chat will be recorded on your leads detail page. If you need to reinitiate the chat later on, you just click that chat icon and you can continue the conversation there. All right, next up is your save button. Now, before we did save a picture that we had snapped already, but the save feature will also do a quick screen grab for you. So we'll move the camera around here as the customer. We'll do a quick screen grab. You'll notice the screen grab saved in the upper right corner. You aren't able to annotate because it's just a quick screen capture there for you. But that's the save feature. So if you needed to grab a quick picture, that's a great way to do it. Below that is your pause video feed. So if I wanted to pause the live video feed, I can do that by clicking that button. And just like the photo, I'm able to annotate the live video feed when it's been paused. So I'll make a couple of annotations there. And before we go back to the live video, we want to click save again. Just remember to save those photos. Always verify that you've got that photo saved. And then let's click back on our live video feed button to come back to that live feed. All right, great. We're almost through this expert panel. Next up is sharing a desktop. All right, so this will enable you as the expert to share something on your screen, whether it's your entire screen, a specific window you have open, or even a tab within your browser. So this is similar to Zoom or other video conferencing features and software. You can share something on your screen with this person. So if you have instructions from the manufacturer that you want to share or a particular website, that's a great way to do it. You just select it, click share, and move on. Below that, you can request a picture from the guest or the customer. So when we click on this, the customer will see a pop-up on their screen asking them to allow access to their camera. We'll click allow, and then for purposes of this training, let's take a picture. Since we can't zoom on the iPhone, we'll have the customer zoom into a stain on the floor for us. So you'll notice that on the expert screen, none of this is visible. Only the customer can see what's happening right now until they take the photo and then select use photo. That's when it will actually be shared with the expert. And this will also be like a picture that's taken and can be annotated. So we'll just highlight this area of discoloration right here. And again, click save. So that will be maintained by this call. We'll see, verify that that picture has been saved, and we'll click off that area. And then let's click back on the guest share picture icon to bring back our live feed. Great. So you'll notice that annotation is not available unless you are in a picture, have paused the screen, or in some sort of guest share picture moment. We talked about the flashlight earlier. The last icon here we'll come back to in just a moment. Before we go, I do want to point out this guy up in the upper right-hand corner, right next to where all of your pictures have been accumulating. You'll see this is a multi-party call. So if you needed to bring in another expert from your company or maybe an installer that you need to loop into something, you can actually send a text message to them as well by clicking invite, entering their information, and loop them into this call to get an extra expert's opinion. Super easy to do, really beneficial, and you can do this with multiple folks. It's not just one. So that's a really nice feature, and as well as what we saw at the beginning when we invited our customer, we can send this via email as well. So this is the multi-party call feature right in the upper right-hand corner. All right, great. So before we wrap up everything, let's talk about the end call. We don't ever want to exit a call by closing the browser tab. We want to end the call by clicking end call. This will end everything nicely on the customer side as well as our side. So we're going to go and hang up with our customer. All right, great. So now let's bring this full screen and talk about how to save those pictures we took earlier. Now, with most of the features from Remote House Call, they will automatically be routed into your lead. But for this in particular, with our pictures, we want to make sure we route them before we wrap up and exit this window. So we'll want to click Cloud and then Upload. So remember to do this at the end of every call with any pictures that have been saved. Select Cloud and Upload, and that will route your pictures back into your leads detail page. A quick note on this call summary that pops up. If you click send invitation, you'll be inviting the same person you just spoke with back on another call. However, this call will not be connected to the lead. So it's always best to initiate all of your remote house calls from that lead detail page that we started on by clicking add remote house call. Keep in mind that the data gathered from your remote house call session will be pulled into the lead in Retail Lead Management on an hourly basis. All right, great. So let's click refresh on this leads detail page and we'll start to see some of that information routed in from the call. All right, so here we can see the duration of our call. Our notes were recorded here, our chat, the hi, hello, back and forth. Even our video has appeared, which we can click on to preview. And we can edit the name of the video. And just as we did that, our images pulled into the system for us. That's great. Sometimes you have to hit refresh, but your images are there with your annotations. The second image was our screen grab, so there aren't any annotations here. But we can preview all of these in our browser. And as you can see, you can edit all of the pictures as well. So if we wanted to edit the names of the pictures to make it easier to understand which picture is representing which area, we can do that. Click on the more info to get your latitude, longitude, coordinates, as well as the address and other information about the call. So if you ever needed to add another remote house call, you go through the exact same process again, click this button to initiate a brand new call. You do have the ability to delete calls, although I don't recommend it in general, and you are not able to delete calls initiated by another user in RLM, so there is that fail-safe for you. Thanks so much for watching this remote house call video. We hope you enjoy this feature.